talking all about objections. So throw in the chats, what are the top business and customer objections that you get into the chat? I'm reading through all of them in our Facebook groups now. They're so much fun. Today's gonna be so fun. I love objections. Like I just love it. So you're gonna walk out empowered and excited and everything today. Montana, too expensive. Yeah, that one's always a fun one, right? Let's see here. Not a good fit for me. Lack of consistency. MLM objection. Price. I think price was like 80% of what I saw. Hey, Jennifer, what's going on? Katie, hello. Great to see you. Oh, man, yeah. Let us know. Hey, Cassie's been crushing it. Cassie, I see, is inviting people like all day to the group. So well done. Well done. Yeah. Doctors are more expensive. That's true. Yeah. If you think this is expensive, try being sick. That's more expensive. Depends who you are, if you could say that or not. I don't know if someone would probably slap me if I said it, but if Sharon said it, I think they'd be fine. You got one that the company Shizuka has to okay it. That's not an excuse. Yeah, there's some companies that have legitimate, because of their line of work, they do need to prove, other streams of income, especially those that are in financial services. So that is a normal thing. It's a scam. Who here wants to deal with the scam one today? That sounds fun. I love it. My most favorite ever. I know. Hey, Ann, great to see you. Eric, Mr. Cha-Cha himself. What's up? Great to have you. Hey, Valerie. What's going on? Lisa, Pat, Cynthia, Cindy. If I missed you, it's not because I don't like you. I'm just trying to look around. Twyla, Paul, Pyramid. I love it. If you're on the Zoom, if you're on the Facebook groups, by the way, join our Zoom room. The party is here, and use this opportunity. Send us some last minute reminders. Get your teammates on. This is one of those that when people will walk out. I hope every single training we have, you feel empowered, but this one in particular is really, really fun. So anywho, got 10 seconds on the clock and we'll get off the ground and we'll be good. Cynthia, if sound isn't good, maybe rejoin and life should be good there, but awesome. And we got to kick off. Hey, what's up, everybody? Give me a big wave. Throw 5 in chats if you hear me all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Champions Academy, where champions are born and made. You've made yourself a good decision to join on this. My name is James Zhang. If we haven't met before, I've been with these amazing drops. By the way, who here's been loving your results in the Body Balance Challenge? Are you feeling healthier? Are you feeling more energetic? Are you feeling like at least you're getting something down of consistency and that you made a promise to yourself? That Erica is definitely on it. And I just want to encourage you too. If you're like a human being like I am, you haven't been perfect. Now, maybe you're like an alien and you've been doing every single thing. I'm curious, and I'm not going to hate you if you respond this way, but who here can honestly say on the drops, you have been 100% on it where you're like, I am there. Put 100 in the comments if you're like, yeah, I'm like, Kathy's been on it. All right, wow. Dang, a lot of you, Katie and Elaine. All right, I'm just not gonna speak for anyone then. So I just take back my responses. Obviously, I'm the loser here. So dang, you guys are good. All right. So I need to pick up my game. That's what I'm hearing. That's what you call not leading from the front, by the way. Don't take notes on that. So congratulations, I will say. And Cynthia, if you can't hear, I would rejoin and everything. But regardless, the key is success is that you continue. Success is that you don't quit. Success is that you continue to navigate forward. And as long as you're making progress, Anne said you don't have as much to lose. Thanks, Anne. That makes me feel a little bit better. So I'm going to literally take some drops right now. Okay. So I'm going to double it up now. I'm in. You guys inspire me every single day, right? So I think our best part about this business is our community, isn't it? Who here loves just our people that are here? Like, it's going to be so much fun. I know. So shout out to that. By the way, we are driving towards one of the biggest tips that I've learned in 15 years of this profession Is it if you want to win big, if you want to have the most fun, if you want to be able to experience things? Let me share with you a quick message on this. We're going out to, there's many events around the world, and Partner Code, they do it very, very big. If you like what we're going to share with you today, you're going to love the culture and the community and the bonds of the events around the world. So it depends on the market you're in, but like, for example, in Australia, I would love for you guys to come, by the way. You're down to come that at some point. They have an event in March, so I just booked my tickets over there. And I was asked by the general manager to share a couple tips on why it's important to go to these events. Can I share with you guys 3 real quick tips on why you shouldn't go to events? Like, let me tell you why you should not go. Okay, like be very careful. Like, this is huge tips I've learned. Number 1, you don't go if you don't like learning. Like, if you just like hate learning stuff, if you hate like growing, if you hate getting better skills or like feeling more confident in your business and stuff, like, don't go. Because when you go to these events, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're just going to be inundated with 7-figure earners, 8-figure earners, top leaders. You're just going to be infused. It's like you're taking a shot of skills and you walk out and you're like, wow, I just got downloaded. Did anyone here ever watch The Matrix before? You know that scene with Neo and he got that thing in his neck and he learns jujitsu and all that? That's what happens at big events. You get a Neo infusion of skills. So if you don't like skills, don't go. All right, number 2 reason why you don't go to events is that if you don't want to make more money, like you're okay with where you're at, you're okay with your current title, like just don't go. Because when you leave an event, it's so tough to not make more money because you're around people that are doing amazing and birds of a feather flock together. So if you do not like making more and becoming more, like, don't go to these events. And the 3rd reason, like seriously, like this is a big one. This is why you should not go to Destin. Like, and this is perfect because, you know, Eric's a great example of this, but, you know, like Eric's going to go to Destin, for example, out here in Florida. And Eric's like me, unfortunately, because the 3rd reason why you shouldn't go is if you don't like having fun in life, like, don't go to these events because Eric's going to be cha-chaing all over the dance floor. We already know. Like, you're just going to have smiles ear to ear the entire time. So if you like to be at home and frowning and just not excited, don't go to these events. But in all seriousness, events are super important. If you can go, definitely go. I understand there's crazy situations. I've heard of health conditions. People are out of town. Like, there's things that happen, right? But if barring those extraneous circumstances, if you have a nudge in your heart to go to the Destin event, February 6th through 8th, I'm going to tell you, you will walk out with more skills, you will make more money, and you will have so much fun that you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this, you know? So with that, we have a couple weeks on the clock. It's going to be absolutely incredible. If you don't have your ticket yet, homework for you right away is talk to your mentor, talk to your coaches, talk to us, and let's get you there. Let's figure it out, and we're going to have fun. All right. Is that okay with you guys? You guys ready for a fun training today? So we're going to get this off the ground. All right. So with that, one other announcement is this. If you've checked your has anyone here checked your back office today yet? And have you noticed there's something called a power ranking? Has anyone here seen that at all? So there's this thing called power ranking in Partner Co. I was talking with Katie Holt Larson, our president, and power ranking is kind of a big deal. It's like a ranking system within the entire company that you can see where you are in the world, where you are in your market, and where you are even in your own state or province if you're our Canadian friends. And today, you would have seen some of them come out, but I saw this is all I know of just because literally I had a conversation. For example, we have one of our vice presidents, Sandy Gledhill. She's trained and helped so much. She's #1 currently in all of Texas, for example. I know. So congratulations. And many of you would be surprised as you look at these, like you're going to be surprised by your ranking. And if you don't see a ranking, that's okay as well too. And just letting you know, it's just the beginning of the year. And this is one of those things that, how do you drive these rankings and why are they important? I did get note from Katie that Partner Co wants to recognize these power rankings more. So you'll get access to exclusive things. Like at Destin, you get access to exclusive like luncheons, and you get some special stuff, and you might get some special, I don't know, other things as well too. So this year, I bring that up because it's an ongoing thing. You can see it every single week. It'll update. Don't get freaked out about it. Like, don't get overstressed about it. How does it work? Power ranking simply is an overall growth metric. It's a relative growth metric on where you are right now versus where you were before, compared to the growth to the rest of the market. So whether you're brand new day one, is anyone here within your first month in Partner Co? By the way, put a 1 in the comments if you are. Like, congratulations. What a good time to be involved. We are so jealous of you. Like, this is a good time. Whether you've been involved for 1 month or you've been involved for 10 years, it's kind of a cool ranking because it's all based on your growth versus yourself. And then you see that growth versus others as well too. So you could be a director competing with a chairperson and be a higher power ranking, for example. So keep that up. But what does this all come down to? How do you actually be in the top power ranking by the end of the year? It's an annual thing. It really comes down to what we've been talking about on our daily IPA calls, which is simply just doing the daily do. That's it. Seriously, that's the secret on how you get anything done. It's nothing different. No one has anything special. It's just doing this activity tracker every single day and then sharing that with others and helping them do that every single day as well too. So why am I bringing this up? Because if you're on this call right now, that means that you are en route to being one of the top this year. Who here is ready to flood Partner Co with our entire team in the top power rankings? Give me a wave or put a me if that is you. Like, I'm telling you, this organization raises champions. That's literally what we do. So you're in the right place in the right time. All right. Awesome. I love it. And just trust it's going to happen. All right. So what are we going to talk about today, though? One of the most scariest parts that I had in business, I don't know about you. I remember when I got started 15 years ago, I was a 19-year-old broke college student. I was so shy I couldn't order food at a restaurant. I doubted if I could even make a single penny here. Was anyone else a little bit nervous at the beginning of your business? You're like, can I do this? Am I too young? I was thinking, am I too young? Am I too old? I've tried this before and I haven't had success. Or I'm not a salesperson. Or, I'm not like one of those charismatic influencers. Like, can I actually do this? And I got inspired because I saw what was possible. And then I was about to talk to my first prospects. But I'll be honest, even if I had the scripts, I launched my business. By the way, if you're new, if you haven't launched your business yet, go through your team's launch process. That's the most important thing. I did those things. I went to the trainings. I learned the skills. And then I remember I was about to talk to my very first prospect, and I second guessed talking to them because I was scared that they would ask me questions that I didn't know how to address. And I didn't want to look like silly. I didn't want to look like I wasn't confident. And it was this weird double-edged sword because, well, the only way you can get more competent is by doing something over and over again. But how do I take the first action if I don't feel confident as well too? Do you guys talk about? I'm just like, it was like this thing that was just in my heart. And I remember one of the Saturday trainings just like this, one of my mentors pulled out a big list of objections and he just started hammering through how to handle them. And you know what that did for me? It helped me first answer questions that I didn't know how to handle with confidence. But actually, you know what else it did? It helped me answer deeper questions I didn't even think about asking. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And it gave me extra confidence. And I remember walking out that day feeling like I could run through a brick wall and I could talk to any prospect. And I'm like, bring it. Instead of being scared of the questions, I wanted to confront the questions And that changed the game when it came to a skill set and a mindset for me. Who here would want outrageous confidence in handling any objection that you face in your business? Because that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. So I did a poll in the groups and I asked, what were some of the top objections that you face? And I pulled up a couple of them. Now, there's many. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't say there's many. There's probably, if you really think about it, when it comes to a customer, let's talk about the drop specifically, any product, there's probably like a list of top 20 objections you might get. On the business side, there's probably a list of top 20 objections there as well, too. There's only so many questions someone can have. And I want you to be encouraged that while it might feel like you might be the only one getting a certain objection, the reality is if you look at any of those polls and in the groups, people all face the same things. The same wind blows on us all is what Jim Rohn says. But it's a set of the sail that determines your outcome. So we are dealing with the same people. We are dealing with the same objections. We're dealing with the same questions. But the difference of your arrival of you getting to Chairperson 5000 and winning the trips and being a top power ranker and partner co is simply knowing how to navigate these different situations. So today I'm going to give you some skill set. I'm going to give you some actual practicals, tactical stuff. But it's okay if I take you guys deeper. Like I can give you copy paste scripts, which by the way, in your boards, in your team boards, first thing I would say with any objection, go to the boards and there's a common question and common objection list. Most of the questions you're going to get on the product and business are probably answered in there. Okay. So I'm not necessarily going to regurgitate those things because that's literal copy paste. Another thing I'd suggest to you as well, too. We also have AI these days. ChatGPT could be a very simple place where, right, Pam's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I do that. You can take your objection now and you can feed it to ChatGPT and be like, all right, my prospect said this. How should I respond? It will give you an amazing one. Has anyone here tried that yet, by the way? Like, yeah, you'd be surprised about what you can get. So I bring this up because did you know the most important thing about handling objection is not even necessarily in what you say, but it's really in how you say it. Okay. So let me break down a couple of background things, and I want to tackle also a couple top objections today on it. All right. So objection handling. Let me give you mindset and let me give you some tips on skill set. Let me give you mindset first, because this is the most important thing. Because I promise you, I can tell you exactly what to say, but if you don't say it properly, with the right attitude, with the right mindset, with the right conviction, we can say the same thing, but it will not land right. Okay? I learned this the hard way. So here's the biggest thing about any objection. Let's take the top one that I got. Who here can guess what the top objection was that everyone typically had? Money. Yeah, right? It costs too much. I can't afford it. I got to wait till my next paycheck. You know, can I get a discount? Have you guys had that? By the way, don't you think that's an objection in any single thing in life? Haven't we said that about everything in life? So it's not that the product is expensive or your business is expensive. There's a mindset on this, okay? So whenever you get an objection, here's what we're actually doing. We are transferring our philosophy to them. Any single type of communication, objection handling is an energy transfer. What do I mean by this? You cannot convince someone of something if you yourself are not convinced. Let me give you an acronym. Enthusiasm is important, right? You have to be enthusiastic about what you do. But in the word enthusiasm, the last four letters are IASM. Put that in the chat. IASM. This is an acronym for I am sold myself. I am sold myself. The only way that you're going to be able to consistently overcome objections for you and your team and your prospects is if you are sold yourself first. So take any objection you hear, and the first thing before even knowing what to say is this: what do I believe about that? What do I believe about that? Because you know why some of us are getting price objections? Let me be straight up with you. You think the product costs a lot. You think it's expensive. You think, man, the drops are, let's say United States, they're $176 retail, right? That's really a lot. People are struggling. People are trying to pay for rent. Look at gas prices. Do they really need these drops? I don't know, right? I think they're expensive. Like that's that. If we have that type of belief, guess what? You're always going to deal with the price objection because you yourself feel they're expensive. Now, of course, you're bought in, you're like, you're in, but we need to deal with the first thing first. And yeah, like what Lucia said, I get it too, because I'll just throw myself under the bus. I am naturally a cheapskate. I naturally want a discount. I want the fastest way out and everything. So what we need to address first in any objection is you need to ask yourself, what do you believe about that objection? Let's take cost, for example. Is it expensive? Right? So let's call it $200. Is $200 expensive for the drops? The question is, well, compared to what? These are some things I think. Here's another corollary. How about, I see in the chats, the shots are very expensive, right? One of the most, if you call them a competitor, Ozempic, Wegovy, all these semaglutides, right? They cost at least, Elaine said, $1,200 a month and up. Let's say you even get a deal and it's $500 a month. And I think just using that as a comparison, okay, are the drops a better value than that? You know what I think? I think, well, they're natural and you won't have side effects. Well, they actually will give you real fat loss rather than just muscle loss. And they're actually going to give you long-term results rather than potentially short-term results. And I just think in that straight comparison, if that's what a lot of people are looking at as a corollary now, we are cheaper than that. We are more valuable than that. And we get better long-term results as well. What are some other things I think about compared to other diets, compared to other types of programs? Who here's ever been in a diet before and you felt like you're dying, right? You're like, oh my gosh. Every single other way to lose weight, if that's what we're talking about here, requires you to deprive yourself or work out extra hard. They're all the same thing. And you know what I know is 98% of diets don't just fail. Did you know this statistic? That 98% of people that go on a diet regain their weight and more within 2 years. So question, no matter how much that diet pill cost or how much effort that was or how cheap it was, in 2 years from now, if you're gaining more weight than you lost, who here believes that that is a bad deal no matter what? What's the value at the end of the day? What's the end result? Charmaine also threw in the chat too. Let's talk about hormonal balance. Now we talk about insulin, ghrelin, cortisol, and leptin. What are the corollaries to that? Taking a medicine, going to the doctor, things that kind of help, but they don't last for a long time. I think about metformin for type 2 diabetics. I'm not saying this is the same as that, but I'm saying like, all right, I think compared to a medicine that kind of helps, it'll address the symptom, but not the root, and you have to stay on it for life to kind of sustain yourself. Are those that are on medicine necessarily getting better Are we solving the root problem? What if there were a way, like with our drops, that we can actually balance the body's hormones so it's able to essentially heal itself? For $200. Eileen said she was all diabetic meds and over 200 points down within 3 weeks off of all meds. Come on. Let's go. Or even there's hormone injections. And those cost a lot. And how about you? Does anyone here not like shots? Like you just don't like taking shots. Pam, you don't like shots? You gave shots for like 40 years. That's so funny. Yeah. I'm one of those weird ones that I like a needle. It's like, I know I'm weird. Anywho, I'd rather not. So just using these as corollaries, who here can see if you position the value for yourself, do you see how there's more value in the drops compared to other things like that? Okay. I'm not going to go, there's so many more things, but I want to ask you this question. This is just, can you guys tell, for me, this is the tip of the iceberg on why I believe the drops are valuable. I would encourage you, that's why it's important. If you feel any price objection within yourself, you want to do some more homework. That's what I would encourage. Don't just blindly believe. Like, look at an interview with Dr. Jody Ganofsky and how she talks about, from a naturopathic doctor standpoint, why the drops are important. Look at from Dr. Ray Strand, from a traditional medical doctor, on why he turned from medicine to holistic nutrition and why he loves the drops and what they do for the body. You might look at an Amy Rickman, who is a homeopathic educator, and you might want to study that. And now you have bullets on all sides. You look at the ingredients and you're like, wow, those cost a lot if you just go to a store and you try to make them by yourself. And then you put them together into this. For the results that you get in this product, compared to anything else on the market in the long term, it is a steal. Let's leave it at this. Is it worth $200 if you can be rest assured that you're actually going to lose weight and keep it off? Is it worth $200 if, and I'm just going to use what I see in the chats, and I won't promise this to others, but this is what I think, right? Is it worth it if you can get off your diabetes medications and be 200 points down? Like, how do you put a cost to that? That's crazy. Now, everybody's different. I'm not making a medical claim, but these are major. So I lean into these things, and I think it's value. If you're jotting down notes, it's all about the value of something. It's never about the price. When the value is clear, the price is nothing. Case in point, who here has ever had a friend that said that they were broke, they always had struggles with money, they could just never afford anything, and all of a sudden they started dating the one, and all this money comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? Where those flowers come from? Where those vacations come from? Like, where'd that dinner come from? Like, it's like somehow they just got the money. It's never about money. It's always about value. So what we need to do as entrepreneurs is we need to sell ourselves on the value of something where we are impenetrable, where people are like, it doesn't matter if you get a discount or not. It is far worth the value of it. Let me use one corollary. Does anyone here like shopping a little bit? You're a little shopper. Okay. I know Pam loves shopping. Let's say I went to Pam and I told her, Pam, do you know what an Hermes Birkin bag is? Okay. Let's say I told you, I have a limited edition Hermes Birkin bag right now, and I'm going to give it to you for $2,000. Would you buy that all day? Yeah, right? Now, I'm curious, who here does not, put a 2 in the comments if you have no idea what a Birkin bag is. You're like, a Birk what? So Katie, Charmaine, for example, if I told you for a handbag, and you didn't know what it was, and I told you it's $2,000, Wendy, wouldn't you naturally say, that sounds expensive? Right? That sounds expensive. That's a lot for a bag. I'm thinking I could just go to anywhere. I can go get a bag. Pam, do you know how much is a Birkin bag typically?
Oh, I don't know the price, but I know it's on a bucket list and I need to investigate that.
Okay.
So
How
I
much?
would say maybe over like 6,000 or something, but
Easily. Yeah.
yeah.
10, 20,000. Let me see. I'm looking at ChatGPT. The minimum entry is 10 to $12,000.
Wow, yeah.
Right. So now knowing that, guys, if you guys knew that this bag cost 10 grand minimum, but I offered it to you for $2,000, put it to you in the comments if you would buy that all day. Right. Sure.
I'm driving out to your house tomorrow to pick that bag up. I just want you to know I'll be there. And I'm
Exactly.
paying you cash. So don't
Yes.
worry. I'm bringing
You
it
would
to
find the
you.
cash.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good point. If you didn't have the cash, but I told you one day,
Yeah.
did you find the cash?
Yeah.
By the way, this is the same type of response when people say the business is too expensive. It costs too much to get in. If I told you that you could have a annual six-figure recurring income that you can pass to your children's children, but you only had one day that you had to bring $400, or let's say you went all the way to ultimate right away, $2,500. Carrie, Neelam, Joanne, if I told you that you could have a lifetime six-figure annual recurring income for $2,500, who here would get that? You'd find the money somehow. You'd be like, yeah, let's figure that out. Come on, right? Case in point. It's never about cost. It's always about value. So the question that I pose to you in the price objection is, what do you believe the value of, let's say, the drops are? What do you believe the value in this opportunity is? If you are strong in the value, price will, I won't say never be an issue. You're going to deal with it, but you're going to be able to convey the value where people get started all the time. I hope if this clicked for anybody, put it clicked in the chats. Like, this mindset is so important because this is the top thing. All right. Awesome. So just think about that, meditate on that. And your homework is this. If you don't believe what I just said is the value, then you have to do some homework. I'm going to plug this in. Do you know where the best place to get impenetrable belief about the value of our product and our business is? Put in the chat what you think I'm about to say, right? Like, what's the best way to get impenetrable value and belief and conviction? Gym Run's good. Customer groups is good. Yeah. You know the best place? The big events. The big events. If you go to a Destin and you rub shoulders with a Dr. Crystal Vance who lost more than she weighed, and she tells you her story, wow, the drops are amazing. If you go to the event and you talk to a Brent Palmer, who was a paycheck to paycheck high school football coach, now made over, I think he's made over 8 figures in the industry and helped so many others as well too. You're going to walk out saying, wow, this is powerful. I see the Birkin bag in the chat, right? So events and events like this, of course, right? The more, the better, but especially an in-person event, it just, wow. Cynthia said that's exactly why you're coming to Destin. Wise. One last value. Some people say it's too expensive to go to an event. If you knew you could walk out with impenetrable belief that'll help you get to 6 figures fast, is it worth it spending $1,000, $2,000, taking some time off work, figuring out the kids, bringing the kids, whatever it takes? It's so powerful. Tim Sales said this, and you'll meet him at the event as well too in Destin. He said, if you understood the power, Pia Washington said this on her BOC, if you understand the power of recurring income, you would crawl naked over broken glass to get it. I know, visual, right? Tim's a Navy SEAL, so he uses those analogies. So anywho, it's always about value, never the price. Okay, so there's the mindset. There's that transference of philosophy piece on a cost objection. Let me also give you some skill set here. Okay, so let's just say you believe in the value. you do also have to communicate it. You can't just go up to someone and be like, don't you see? Come on. You can't just force your belief on someone, right? It doesn't work that way. Who's ever been around someone that's been super convicted and convinced and excited about something in their life, but they just rubbed you wrong too? You're like, oh my gosh, good for you, but it's all right, you know. You also don't want to, there's some finesse. There's some nuance. There's a dance of communication. You see, our job as a communicator, as a leader, is to help bring someone from darkness into light, from not knowing into knowing. You have to imagine you're talking to a blind person that's never seen light before. Can you guys imagine being pitch dark? Have you ever walked out and it's like super bright and you're like, my gosh, like that's too much too fast. Sometimes we have blinded people in the negative way because they're too aggressive, too forceful. And we're like, they just don't see it. No, it's because you shined a bright flashlight when they were blind, right? So there's also an art to doing things as well too. So with that said, here is a skill set. How do you take someone from darkness into light? I have 5 points here. You might want to jot these down. Number one, whenever you get an objection, you want to first clarify the question. You want to clarify the question. There's a saying that you measure twice, you cut once. Where I see a lot of people go off is we assume we know what they're saying and asking. And then we start answering it, but we answer the wrong question. This happens in my marriage all the time. Babe, weren't you listening? I was. No, that's not what I said. This literally happened this morning. So I need to take notes on this myself. So clarify the question, right? So for example, let's use another one here. Another one is the network marketing objection, the MLM objection. Who here's ever got that before? Is this MLM? Is this network marketing? Is this Amway, Herbalife, Avon? Is this one of those things? Is this that pyramid thing? That thing, you know? And did you know that every single one of those questions could mean something completely different? It's actually not always a negative thing. Where people get off is they actually don't know the objection that they're answering. So let's use this one as an example. The first thing, I get it, it's a scam. Yeah, that's a scam. One of those things where people try to make all the money and you lose all the money. So my question back to any of these questions is first, can you explain to me what you mean by a pyramid? All right. Kathy Buchanan, trip winner, officer, you're going to be my sparring partner because you're right here. I know. You be a negative prospect, okay? Because you get this. Let's say I asked that to you. I'm like, so Kathy, let's say you said, oh, is this one of those pyramid things? How about Kathy, what do you mean by a pyramid thing? Can you explain? And you're on mute right now. So there you are.
Yeah, I've just seen this with some of my friends, and I tell you, they've lost things. They've told me stories, and I feel like I get in and I never advance anywhere because people just keep me down. And I'm just not into that. I just don't want to put the energy there.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So it sounds like you've been involved in a business like that before. Is that right?
Actually, yes. I didn't want to say so, but yeah, I have.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So guys, you see, this is a different objection. Some people say is that a pyramid? And what they actually mean is that's illegal. And I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Kathy, in this example, she's referring to network marketing as a pyramid because that's just how she describes it, because she doesn't understand what network marketing actually really is, because she wouldn't believe it's illegal because she joined it. And it sounds like multiple times. So she's been involved. Do you guys see the difference there? So if I were, for example, like I love the whole analogy I see Lucia put in the chat, the pyramid thing. They're like, you know what's a pyramid? Corporate America is a pyramid. Have you guys seen that before? Which is true. right? Any corporation, yes, there's only one CEO. But if I handle that with Kathy right away, can you imagine? I'm like, Kathy, this isn't pyramid. Are you working right now, Kathy? And she's like, let's say she's like, yeah, I'm on a job. Your job's a pyramid. If I said that to her right now, she would be offended and it would not be the right objection. Does that make sense, guys? So thanks, Kathy. I might come back to you in a little bit. So the first thing you want to do with any question is you want to clarify the question until you understand what they're actually asking. Okay. This goes for, by the way, clarifying objections when you're trying to help your teammate launch their business, right? Can you imagine? Let me just plug in another one. This was another top one. Who are your teammates that joined and they haven't launched their business or they're not doing something? And you ask them, you know, that's just not for me. Have you had that before? That's just not for me. You should clarify. Well, Joanne, can you clarify to me what you mean by this isn't for you? Is making money not for you? Is business not for you? Like, what is it that's not for you? So you start to have them talk. So you seek understanding. Seek first to understand, not to be understood. Key. All right. So number one, clarify the question. Number two, now that you have it down and you're like, oh, I see it. Jot these words down. Feel, felt, found. Feel, felt, found. And what is this? This is bridging from darkness into light. Because what you're doing is you now know what their philosophy and understanding on this objection is. You know where you stand and you know it's different. Okay. So you clarified that they think it's, in Kathy's example again, they clarified that these businesses, it feels like they just push you from the top down. They're suffocating you. It's not working for me. It's not for me. That's what she thinks this is. Kathy actually, in this universe, actually believes this is the best thing in the world. Kathy, let me just get a couple notes real quick from you. From Partner Co specifically, if you were to sum it up in a minute or two, what do you feel is possible with this business?
I tell you, my dreams have gone from just little to just huge. And it's the culture, it's the people. I had a gal come on the other day and I sent her some information and she goes, or she watched some videos like one of you, James, and she came back and said, and I'd already told her this, so maybe it was in her mind, but she goes, you know, it really seemed like everybody was helping each other and I couldn't tell like that team. And it's like, that's exactly right. So when you have that love and that connection, you just know you can do so much with that because it's in your heart, not just up here. It's right here.
There we go. Beautiful, Kathy. Well said. So lots of value, right? Can you tell Kathy number one and Kathy number two different philosophies? Let me give you another psychology thing. If you ever wonder why people aren't doing what you want them to do, it's because they don't believe what it is you believe. If people aren't launching their business, if people aren't buying the product, if people aren't being compliant on the product, if people aren't joining your business, it's because they don't believe what you believe. So what we need to do is go back to the roots and we need to help them and educate them into why we believe what we believe. And if they can agree with that, they will take the actions. Does that make sense, guys? So that's how any objection is, any situation. So going back to feel, felt, found is a really simple framework to be able to connect and guide. So what does that look like? Like Kathy, first feel. Feel is you relate to where they were. If you're walking someone from darkness to light, you start from the darkness. So you show them that you understand, that you empathize. People want to feel seen, heard, and loved. They don't want to be outcasted or put down. Okay. So Kathy, first, like if I heard her first example of she felt put down and all that, but first, Kathy, I am so sorry that you experienced that. That did not sound like a fun experience. you know, and I totally understand how you feel. In fact, I've been in those situations before, so I totally get it. Did you know, Kathy, that when I first saw this, I'll pull you back up here. This is me, like real, like for reals. When I first saw this, I thought this was a total scam. This was not for me. I felt bad and icky in sales. Yeah, I just didn't want to do it. Like what did it? And I thought I couldn't do well as well too. So I totally felt that way too. So I feel for you and with you. I felt similar, and then I found. But you know what I found, Kathy? And this is when you plug in your new philosophy. What I found is I actually just was in the wrong team. And what I found here is the culture is so different. I'm going to use what you said, Kathy. Everyone here, you don't know who's in whose team. Everyone actually wants to help each other. And it's like the most empowering, beautiful, loving community possible. And because now I'm plugged into this, I feel like I can like do anything in here. Like it's incredible. But it sounds like, okay, so you see how that works. Okay, feel, felt, found. All right. So Kathy, thanks so much. Now you've brought them there. Skill set. Let me clarify. Number one, you clarified the question. Number two, feel, felt, found. Number three, here's a key. Focus on what they want. Remember, as a communicator, what we're actually doing is we're bringing people to their destination. We're solving their problem. The biggest leverage point, if you want to help someone launch their business, if you want someone to buy your product, if you want someone to actually go overcome this objection, is we need to refocus them on the road. Tim Sales uses this example. Imagine you're driving. Who here's ever driven and you got a big bug splat in your windshield? It's like, and it's like, ew. And what do? You focus on that bug splat, right? In that moment, you took your eyes off the road. The road is your goals. The bug splat is the objection. So what we need to do is we're professional bug splat diversions. You need to clean up that bug splat, the objection, address it, and then you need to refocus them on their road. It's not enough to just handle the objection. It's not enough just to answer and to educate. Some of us have, maybe you're in the place where you know a lot, but people don't buy. You know everything about the product. You know a lot about the business. You can say a lot of stuff. But the reason why people are not buying is because you don't bring them back to the road of what they want. When people know why, the how is easy. So I'm going to bring it back to Kathy. So Kathy, for you, what are some of your driving forces? Like, what do you want to do business for?
My ultimate is financial independence. At 66, I'm on a small Social Security check. I don't want to be dependent, or my kids and my grandkids that need to take care of me. So
I love that.
It's big.
Perfect. You're on track already. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you know what I would ask is this. Let's say you don't know what they want exactly. Here's another tip, by the way. Any single type of time you're working with anyone, if you forget what they want, we need to take a step back, right? I can't help someone if I don't know what I'm helping them to. So I'll just ask. So Kathy, let me ask you this. So feel, felt, found. Okay, I know your question. Feel, felt, found. And if a business like this could work for you, what would success for you look like? Like, what would you want? And Kathy, you would say what you just said right there. I want financial freedom. I want financial independence at 66. I know Social Security is not enough. I want to make sure I have enough for my kids and kids' kids. Awesome. All right. So now we drive it there. That's what I want to lead them to. So Kathy, if we had a culture that was different, it was collaborative, it was helpful, it was positive, and you're going to get a lot of support. We have great systems here. And if we had that here, do you believe that we could help you get to a better retirement faster?
Actually, just listening to you, James, you are really stirring in me a desire and a belief that I want to at least try, because
Awesome.
This is what I've been looking for.
Awesome. Sounds good. Perfect. Come on, Kathy. Welcome to the family. So you guys see that so far. Clarify the question, feel, felt, found, focus on what they want, bring it back, right? Let me give you two more points in objection handling. Number 4, if needed, story. Facts tell, story sell. One of the best ways to handle any objection is a testimonial. So let's use Kathy's, right? She feels like she was in a place that, she just never did well and she wasn't able to succeed. Guys, we have so many success stories in our team. Pull from any of them. You don't have to work with them. We have a whole slew of stuff. So in this one, I'll pull like Pam Middleton. On my screen, they're literally right next to each other, but they have a similar story. Kathy, I understand how you feel with previous experiences. My friend Pam was the same way. She's a retired registered nurse. She was actually in 9 different companies prior to this one and never made any money. But because of the culture, the community, the systems here, she actually is a senior officer here. That's a 6-figure position. She's made more money here in just her first part of her business than all of those other companies combined. She bought her dream car. She's taking trips, her entire family on trips, and her grandchildren, and she's bolstering her retirement. So I know that if she could do it, so can you. Oh, now Kathy, if she was excited before, she's like, whoa, I'm in. Okay, I'm in.
Well, I'm also a nurse, so you told me. We got this, girl.
There it is, right? So boom, perfect. Final part is call to action. Every single great communicator leads out with a call to action. You have to give them a direction. You can't just handle it and be like, all right, you tell me what you want to do. Lead them. Get them started. So in this one, it's that question that I asked. So Kathy, knowing that this is a different place, do you feel that you can succeed here and we can help you hit the goals that you have? And Kathy will say something similar, right? Well, let's get you started. Pam said more money in 6 months with Partner Code than all other 9 combined. Come on, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so the 5 points in your skills: clarify the question, feel, felt, found, focus on what they want, use a story, and call to action. If you implement this formula into any, it costs too much, I don't have time, I don't have enough friends, right? I'm not popular on social media, I'm technologically challenged. Have you guys all heard these, by the way? There's only so many. So use what you have in your boards, use ChatGPT, but also utilize this understanding. And remember, it starts with your own mindset first of your philosophy. You have to sell yourself first, and then you can walk through these 5 steps to bring someone from darkness into light. All right. Let me give you some last notes as we close this off. If you learned anything so far, put a 5 in the comments. Yeah, seriously, this works. I had to learn this because I didn't know how to communicate at all. So I work by formulas and stuff. Eileen said she made more in 3 months than made in 2 other MLM companies for the year. Come on. And down 200 points and offer diabetes meds. Man, Eileen, by the way, this Thursday, if you're free, I'm going to do another business call. I would love to have you share your story. All right. So come on. All right. Last 2 notes. In the process of mastery, because, you see me do this. I hope, when I saw someone do this for me, I'm like, I want to go handle some objections. Does anyone else feel that way right now? Bring it on. Come on. But then the reality was this. Then I went out into the field and then I'm like, wait, what, how did that work again? Wait, what are they saying? Measure 3 times, cut 10. What? It's not a second nature thing yet. So in the process of mastery, here's a couple other things real quick. Number 1, the best thing you can say in any objection or question, if you don't know the answer, is not to fake it, but it's to first be honest. And I tell them, integrity is always big. Here's what I always say, still to this day. If I get a question I don't know how to handle, I don't know, but I will find out for you. I don't know, but I will find out for you. That's great, right? I don't know, but I'll find out. That's a leader. you still have influence there because you're going to do the homework for them. All right. It's probably one of the best things you can do for in any situation. So number one is that. And then number two, secret sauce. We want super speed. Like this, people need to leverage more, I believe. Number two is leverage a third-party testimonial or mentor or person, a tool. Leverage. Bring someone else in. I don't know if it'll ask James. Yeah, that's funny. Hopefully it's ask ChatGPT first or ask Danielle. She knows a lot, by the way, because she asked me a lot. So Danielle knows a lot. So plug that in there. But at any point, leverage a tool, leverage a resource, leverage a person. So if you're ever stuck or you feel like you don't know where to go, let's say I'm talking to Kathy, she brings it up to me. You know, I might say, be like, you know what, Kathy? It's a really good question. You know, I happen to know a nurse that was in the exact same situation that you were at. She now makes more here than she did in any other company. Do you mind if I connect you with her? I think her story will help you a lot. Right. And then I'll ask Pam, hey, Pam, like, do you mind? I have Kathy, I'm talking to her. Like, yeah, she'll be down. Right. We can always do that. Put them, and I'd probably do a three-way chat at first, like the way I do things, because everyone's busy, right? So I'll at least throw a chat together. You'd be surprised what one voice memo and a chat will do with third-party validation. The product costs too much. You know, I know somebody that felt that way as well too, but they tried the drops. They're getting amazing results. Do you mind if I connect you with them? I'd love for you to hear their story. I don't have time to do this business. You know, that's a really good question. I'm working with somebody that's helped coach a lot of people that have that same problem succeed in this business. Can I connect you to Eric Minter? Like, he knows a lot about this business more than I do. Is that all right? Boom. I throw them into a three-way chat. And you know what happens there? Just the fact that you have someone else, a prophet's not a preacher in their own land. Just because it's not you, they could say the simplest of things. But just because you edified and then the third party came in and they said something, boom, they have social proof that gets them over their hump. Remember, last thing, people are just finding a way to convince themselves to say yes to their dreams. You just have to figure out ways to get them into the environment, into the conditions, into the stuff for them to believe the things that they actually want. We all want to make more money. We all want to be in better community. We all want to have a better life. We all want to live better, feel better, look better, all of that. But we all have doubts and fears and barriers. We have something legitimate here in Partner Co. We want to build. We're building $1 billion brand, aren't we? We're helping people get a body they love, a business that thrives, and a lifestyle that inspires. Can we all agree? Put a 3 in the comments if you believe the world wants all of that. Like, you ask anyone on the street, do you not want any of those? They want all of those. So what's holding them back is our job. That is our responsibility. That is our honor. So what you do every single day, posting on social media, doing your engagement sandwich, coming onto the increasing activity calls, doing the tracker, getting into objections, helping someone launch their business, helping someone start their product. All of these things is one of the most honorable, respectable, special things that you could ever do in life, because you are literally the one that bridges people from the darkness to the light. And once people see it, and they have an Eileen story of getting off of diabetes medications, they have a Pam Middleton story about building a lifestyle of her dreams with her entire family, of Joanne Hewitt getting off, being able to bike again, on all of these different types of stories. I don't know about you, but isn't that one of the most contagious feelings in the world? You cannot put a dollar amount on that. But also, we have the #1 comp plan, so it does pay well too. So with that said, I hope that helped with objection handling. Take this into your heart this week, drive it forward. And we are just so, so proud of each and every single one of you. We hope to see you at one of the next events. If you didn't get your ticket yet, we'd love to see that. And so much fun. Kathy, thanks for letting me pick on you. Guys, have an amazing, amazing weekend.